This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, some retirements in the NHL, some big contract signings, as well as a first-of-its-kind agreement for the Arizona Coyotes. All that and more next on the Neutral Zone. Zone. Welcome into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Adam Karnick will be here shortly. Lots to get into tonight, but first, as always, we want to thank our sponsors. Our Patreon supporters are Bay Area Raised, Emblos Great, Key to the Gate, and Anonymous. So, tonight, there's been some big contract signings, a couple retirements in the NHL, plus a first-of-its-kind agreement for our much-maligned Arizona Coyotes. Busy day for the NHL. Let's see here. Let's start with MacKinnon. Big contract signing today. Colorado Avalanche give Nathan MacKinnon an 8-year, $100.8 million extension. Per ESPN's Ryan S. Clark, instead of Nathan MacKinnon having the mantle of one of the league's best bargain contracts, he is now about to become the highest paid player in the game starting next season. MacKinnon and the Colorado Avalanche agreed to an 8-year, $100.8 million extension that will carry an average annual value of $12.6 million, sources have told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. It is a deal that will see MacKinnon sign the richest contract in the salary cap era. His new deal sees him overtake Edmonton Oilers center Connor McDavid for the top spot by $100,000, with McDavid's annual average value being $12.5 million. Whew, wowza. The pact will go into effect at the start of the 23-24 season, with the upcoming 22-23 campaign being the final year of MacKinnon's previous extension. That was a 7-year deal that saw him earn $6.3 million annually. MacKinnon said it's, quote, really cool to be the league's top paid player, but said that wasn't the driving force behind his deal. Quote, obviously it's really cool for sure. Hoping there's no more pandemics and the cap goes up even more. But yeah, I think the term was the most important thing, MacKinnon said. I just wanted to be here for the rest of my career, and hopefully I get another deal after this one too. The three-time Hart Trophy finalist's contract situation has long been a topic of conversation given his level of production and the value of the deal. MacKinnon has averaged 1.31 points per game over the last 5 seasons. Quote, Nathan is obviously one of the premier players in the NHL, so a long-term extension was something we wanted to get done before the season started, General Manager Chris MacFarland said in a statement. He has that rare combination of speed and power with a high compete level that makes him a generational player. We are thrilled he will continue to be a member of this team and this community for many years to come. Re-signing MacKinnon to an extension adds to what has already been an active offseason since winning the 3rd Stanley Cup in franchise history. General Manager Joe Sakic took over as president, with MacFarland being promoted from assistant general manager to GM. MacFarland has since signed Valeri Nichushkinin to an 8-year extension, carrying a $6.125 million cap hit, while also re-signing Arturi Lehkonen to a 5-year contract worth $4.5 million annually. It was also an offseason that saw the Avs lose second-line center Nazem Kadri and goaltender Darcy Kemper. They sought to make up for those absences by signing Evan Rodriguez to a 1-year deal with the expectation he would compete with JT Compher and Alex Newhook for the second-line center role. Meanwhile, the Avs made a trade with the New York Rangers to get goalie Alexander Georgiev, who will work in tandem with Pavel Francouz. Getting a new deal done for MacKinnon does more than give him the title of being the game's highest paid player next season. It also reinforces the latest step the Avs have made when it comes to keeping most of their core intact. Samuel Girard and Mikko Rantanen were also the first steps in that plan, with both of them signing extensions in 2019. Girard signed a 7-year deal worth $5 million in each season, while Rantanen signed a 6-year extension worth $9.25 million. A year later, they traded for Devon Toews and signed him to a 4-year contract worth $4.1 million annually. In 2021, the front office re-signed captain Gabriel Landeskog and eventual 2022 Norris Trophy winner Cale Makar to long-term extensions. Landeskog received an 8-year deal worth $7 million annually, while Makar was given a 6-year deal that will see him make $9 million annually. MacKinnon's hefty contract means the Avalanche are projected to have $13.987 million in cap space, according to CapFriendly. But there are other considerations that they must make over the next season. Both Bowen Byram and Newhook, the team's first-round picks in 2019, are in the final year of their entry-level contracts. Compher is set to be a pending unrestricted free agent, while Rodriguez, who signed a 1-year deal this offseason, could also hit the open market. Veteran defenseman Eric Johnson will also be a pending unrestricted free agent. So, big news for the Avalanche and Nathan MacKinnon. Good news for him. Yeah. Another big name that we talk about in hockey is PK Subban. He is a free agent currently, and at 33, he is announcing his retirement from the NHL. Per Kirsten Shilton, ESPN, PK Subban announced on Tuesday his retirement from the NHL following 13 seasons played among the Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators, and the New Jersey Devils. The defenseman suited up in 834 career games with 115 goals and 467 points. He revealed, quote, the end of this chapter to his career in an Instagram post. Quote, I remember my dreams of playing in the NHL and winning a Stanley Cup, Subban wrote. Similar to the guys on the Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em tapes at the end of every volume with the black eyes, broken bones, and tears of joy. To this day, I still dream about it. I never looked at myself or ever felt I was, quote, just a hockey player. I always looked at myself as a person who happened to play hockey Having that perspective allowed me to enjoy every shift like it was my last, celebrate every goal with emotion, and play every game as if someone paid to watch me play, who had never seen me play before. The NHL also provided me with a platform that allowed me to give back through my charities. A sincere thank you to the many players that I either played with or competed against who brought out the best in me. A heartfelt appreciation to the Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators, and New Jersey Devils for each representing organizations with class and integrity. Subban, 33, was drafted by Montreal in the second round, 43rd overall in 2007. He debuted for the Canadiens in 2010 and played a prominent role on Montreal's blue line over the next 6 seasons. The Toronto native became a dominant defender in the league over those years, winning the 2013 Norris Trophy as the NHL's top defenseman. Internationally, he earned an Olympic gold medal representing Canada at the 2014 Games in Sochi. Later in 2014, Subban signed an 8-year, $72 million contract extension with the Canadiens that made him the NHL's highest-paid defender at the time. That same season, he was named an alternate captain. Only 2 years later, in June 2016, he was part of a blockbuster trade that sent him to Nashville in exchange for defenseman Shea Weber. He slotted into the Predators' top 4 and recorded double-digit goal totals in his next 2 seasons. Subban was traded again in June of 2019 to New Jersey, and the veteran recorded his worst statistical season in the 2019-2020 campaign. He finished out the remainder of his 8-year deal with the Devils before becoming an unrestricted free agent last July. Quote, "I look forward to the road ahead and the many exciting opportunities to come," Subban continued in his retirement post. "I'm excited to share what those are with you all when the time comes." Congrats on an awesome career, PK, and we wish you all the best. We have another retirement today, and this is Zdeno Chara, 45, announcing his retirement, signing a one-day deal with the Boston Bruins. Per Ryan S. Clark, ESPN, Zdeno Chara, the hulking defenseman who captained the Boston Bruins to their 6th Stanley Cup, announced Tuesday he is retiring from the NHL. The 45-year-old finishes his career with 209 goals and 680 points in 1,680 games over 24 seasons with the New York Islanders, Ottawa Senators, Boston Bruins, and Washington Capitals before returning to the Isles for the 2021-22 season. Chara scored twice and had 14 points while averaging nearly 19 minutes of ice time over 44 games, and what eventually became his final NHL campaign. Chara, who at 6'9", was also the tallest player in the NHL in NHL history, made his formal announcement with an Instagram post. He also said in the post he signed a one-day contract so he could retire as a Bruin. Uh, 6'9", he could play basketball. Per his Instagram post, after 25 seasons of professional hockey, 1,680 NHL regular season games, 200 Stanley Cup playoff games, and hundreds of international games, I am proud to announce my decision to retire from the NHL. In doing so, I am honored to return to TD Garden today to sign a one-day contract with the Boston Bruins and officially finish my career with the team that has meant so much to me and my family. There are so many people that have helped contribute to my success, including all of you, and I look forward to properly thanking everyone this afternoon. Thank you, Big Z. Chara played his first 8 seasons with the Islanders and Senators before signing with the Bruins headed into the 06-07 season. The Bruins also named Chara a captain just a few months after he signed as a free agent. He became the 3rd Slovakian-born player to captain an NHL team. Chara spent 14 seasons with the Bruins and enjoyed one of the most memorable careers in the franchise's illustrious history. His time in Boston also saw him emerge as one of the most prominent defensemen and leaders in the NHL. Chara won the Norris Trophy for his performances during the 2008-09 season. He scored 19 goals and 50 points while averaging more than 26 minutes in 80 games. He also finished 8th in Hart Trophy voting that season. In the 2010-2011 season, Chara played a crucial role in the Bruins winning a thrilling 7-game Stanley Cup Final Series against the Vancouver Canucks to help the franchise earn its first title in 39 seasons. That's crazy. You think of Boston being so successful in any sport, but then to realize that they hadn't won a hockey title in 39 years. Well, I guess that's right up there with the Red Sox not winning a title for, 100 years? But I digress. That same season, Chara also won the Mark Messier Leadership Award. Chara spent 14 seasons with the Bruins and scored 481 points in 1,023 games with the club. He remained with the Bruins through the 19-20 season before signing with the Caps as a 43-year-old. Chara spent 55 games with the Caps, then signed a contract with the Islanders to have a second stint with the club that drafted him in the third round in 96. Chara's career also had an impact on what he did beyond the NHL. He led his native Slovakia to 2 silver medal finishes at the IIHF Men's World Championships, while guiding his homeland to second place at the World Cup of Hockey in 2016. Same thing goes for Zdeno. It's been quite a career, and we say congratulations, and we wish you the best. We're going to take a break here. You're listening to The Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Calling all Indiana sports fans, this is your podcast. Welcome to High Octane Entertainment on IE Sports Radio. Join me, Justin Lahr, as your host on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific to hear all the latest and greatest sports updates on everything from college to the pros in the great Hoosier State. No matter what, it's guaranteed to be high-octane entertainment. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the show that never sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Metello, the host of the Yandle Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game of both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Zach Puplis. Adam Karnick will be along at some point tonight. Lots more to get into still for the evening. Let's see here. The Arizona Coyotes have landed NHL's first Native American jersey sponsor, and they signed a multi-year agreement with the Gila River Indian community. From Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, the Arizona Coyotes have announced a multi-year sponsorship agreement with the Gila River Indian community, marking the first time that a Native American tribe will have advertising on an NHL team jersey. Players will wear patches for Gila River resorts and casinos on their home jerseys this season, the first time the NHL is allowing teams to have advertisements on their sweaters. Due to NHL rules, ads for sportsbooks and gambling ventures can be worn only on home jerseys. Interesting. The Coyotes intend to find another sponsor for their road jerseys. In addition, Gila River Resorts and Casinos will be the season-long, quote, presenting sponsor of the Coyotes, which will include activations around games at the team's new temporary home at Arizona State University. It's more than a brand sponsorship, Coyotes president and CEO Xavier A. Gutierrez told ESPN. I've made it very clear that the three pillars of our business plan are impact, inclusion, and innovation. Not only in bringing diverse voices to our organization, but in embracing every aspect of our community. The Coyotes had a previous relationship with the Gila River Indian community, as their former home arena in Glendale was named the Gila River Arena. It was rechristened Desert Diamond Arena in August. Glendale terminated its lease with the Coyotes for the arena after the 2021-22 season, following 18 seasons. Gutierrez says the team will make more money from having Gila River Resorts and casinos on its jerseys than it did having it on the Coyotes arena. They're going to be a larger revenue partner for us this year than they were previously. As far as the total package, they've increased their spend, he said. We have a longtime partner that believes in what we're doing, that believes in the club, and believes in the temporary, intimate location that we're playing in. They see it and understand it. Good word, intimate. Speaking of, the Coyotes will play in the new multi-purpose facility on Arizona State University's campus for at least the next 3 seasons, while seeking to build an arena on city-owned land in Tempe. Mullet Arena, named for a family that has supported the ASU Sun Devils Division I hockey program, will have an official capacity of 5,025 fans and will hold between 4,800 and 5,000 fans for Coyotes games. I wonder why it's smaller for Coyotes games than it would be for normal games. Maybe just depending on how the seating is arranged. But, yeah. Well, that's cool. That's like right up my alley, working for a tribal casino myself. That'd be like if my casino, 4 Winds, was able to sponsor, the Red Wings, for instance. Speaking of Coyotes, per Greg Wyshynski, Coyotes expect to sell out every home game at Arizona State. Say season ticket revenue is up 50% over the Glendale Arena. The Arizona Coyotes expect to sell out every home game this season at Arizona State University's Mullet Arena, and say their season ticket revenue has surpassed what they were generating in their former home in Glendale. The Coyotes will play in the new multi-purpose facility on ASU's campus for at least the next 3 seasons, while seeking to build an arena on city-owned land in Tempe. The Tempe City Council voted in favor of a bid in June to move forward on negotiations for the new arena and entertainment district. The Tempe project has been estimated at $1.7 billion, and the team expects there to be a vote on this deal in the fall. Quote, we're still very confident that we have the right deal, the right project, the right ownership group to get it done, Coyotes president and CEO Xavier A. Gutierrez told ESPN earlier this month. It's the first privately financed sports and entertainment district in the history of Arizona. This is a bridge to that. Mullet Arena, named for the family that has supported ASU's Sun Devils Division I hockey program, will have an official capacity of 5,025 fans. The capacity for Coyotes games has been yet to be determined, but it's expected to be between 4,800 and 5,000 fans. We know this is going to be sold out for every single game, and we never had any doubt that this was going to be the case, Gutierrez said. We could have sold this out to be our existing ticket season. We could have sold this out to our existing season ticket base, but we didn't think that was the right approach. We want to make sure that fans who have never experienced a game could experience it. That's a very tricky thing when you've downsized capacity. To compensate for the smaller capacity, the building in Glendale, formerly Gila River Arena and now Desert Diamond Arena, held 17,125 for hockey. The Coyotes priced every seat outside of the ASU student section as a lower bowl seat. The average ticket price at their former arena was $90. The average ticket price at Mullet Arena is $170. The NHL average is $154. Because of that pricing, Gutierrez said the Coyotes have generated 50% more revenue from all of their season ticket plans than we ever did in the history of the Glendale Arena. We're not gouging people here, he said. You're slightly above an NHL average now. Well, you were well below an NHL average before, and we're in a much more centrally located area. There have also been changes in how the team sells suites. The Coyotes had around 80 suites in their former arena and sold around 60 of them. At Mullet Arena, they have 20 suites, which have all sold out. In some cases, they were sold on half-season plans, so as to create greater inventory. The ASU student section will be around 400 seats. There will also be a standing room section of around 300 seats, from which the Coyotes may carve out additional student seating. Ticket prices for the student section will be around $25 to $50 per game. That's reasonable for students. We're on ASU's campus. This is great for the game day experience and great for the cultivation of fans. You can't be on campus and not have that youthful infusion, Gutierrez told ESPN. The Coyotes will play their first home game on the ASU campus on October 28th against the Winnipeg Jets. The game will be shown exclusively on ESPN Plus and Hulu. We've also got some information on jersey advertisements. Speaking of the Gila River Casino and Resorts sponsoring the Arizona Coyotes on their home jerseys, but not their away jerseys. So on that note, it's from ESPN's Greg Wyshynski. The Montreal Canadiens jersey has long been considered a sacred garment by hockey fans. It's the symbol of the NHL's most storied franchise. It even inspired a children's book called appropriately The Hockey Sweater. I had no idea. But when the Canadiens introduced new team captain Nick Suzuki last week, fans of the Bleu, Blanc et Rouge let out a collective Sacre Bleu when they spotted a new addition to the jersey, an advertisement patch for RBC Bank on the right shoulder. For many fans, that was a moment when reality hit. Ads on NHL jerseys are here, and the hockey sweater will never be the same. Immediately, fans started speculating about how long it would take for a second advertisement to be added to that, and then more beyond that. Images of NASCAR jumpers and European hockey jerseys that look more like billboards on skates were shared on social media to exemplify the concern. I can't even tell you what I heard of those concerns before last week, NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly told ESPN, adding that there's been no discussion or consideration about expanding the patch program within the NHL. The NHL has been sliding towards jersey ads for over a decade. It first allowed ads on practice jerseys in 2010. Meanwhile, the AHL, ECHL, and WHL and European Pro Leagues had made jersey sponsorship commonplace. The NHL and the NHL Players Association placed ads on their 2016 World Cup of Hockey jerseys, leading to speculation that new official outfitter Adidas would usher in ads on NHL team jerseys. Although the door cracked open, Commissioner Gary Bettman said at the time that the NHL certainly won't be the first of the Big Four North American sports to allow ads on regular season or playoff game jerseys. He says, "You'd have to drag me kicking and screaming," he said, before acknowledging, "We know what our exposure's worth. Can somebody go through that math and come up with a number?" The answer is yes. It was the NBA that helped fill in the equation. In 2017, the NBA announced it would allow a 2x5 by 2x5 inch ad patch on its game jerseys for the 17-18 season. The program was a success, generating over $150 million in additional revenue and attracting new advertisers to the association. No joke, that's honestly the first place I'd ever heard of Rakuten before the commercials, way before the commercials came along. In August 2021, the NHL Board of Governors approved jersey advertising beginning in the 2022-2023 regular season. So in a couple more weeks where you'll see that. One ad patch, nothing more for now. Keith Wachtel, NHL Chief Business Officer and Executive Vice President of Global Partnerships, said that if you asked Bettman, he would say it would not expand beyond one ad. Quote, but we also had a position, like every league, to say that we weren't going to put an ad on our jersey, Wachtel said. So you never want to say never, but that is not in the foreseeable future. We spoke with Wachtel and others to get further clarification about other concerns fans have expressed regarding the jersey ad program, to find out more about its economics, and to look ahead to what could come in the future. Where will the ads be located on the jerseys? The NHL's jersey ads will be slightly larger than the NBA's. They'll fit in a 3-inch by 3.5-inch space on the sweaters. Rather than a square patch, they'll use whatever logo the sponsor requests, provided it fits. The NHL has designated 4 spots for jersey ads: left and right shoulders, and the left and right chest. In the current program, it's one patch in one area only, Wachtel said. It wasn't the NHL that pushed for the restriction to one jersey sponsor, but rather the feedback it received from teams that established the standard. Wachtel cited the law of diminishing returns for teams. The more logos you put on there, the less value there might be. So the clubs wanted to go with the one ad. That's what we'll have to have for the foreseeable future. There was never a discussion about multiple ads. It's one brand on the sweater, he said. The NHL said that the front of the sweater isn't necessarily more valuable real estate than placing an ad on the shoulders. Analysis will show that the shoulder, in some respect, depending on the camera angle, will get more exposure than the front. With the NBA, it's obvious where the ad has to go. I think marketers are taking the wait-and-see approach to see what has the most impact in the NHL. Can fans buy NHL jerseys without the ads on them? Absolutely. The authentic Adidas jerseys that are sold online will not have sponsor patches on them. The NHL's jersey ad policy states that teams should apply a sponsor patch at arena stores only if fans request it. Otherwise, they'll have the chance to buy an authentic jersey without the patch. Wachtel said that this setup could change in the future. As of right now, that's the only way fans can get the patch. The, quote, breakaway fan replica jerseys will also not feature sponsor patches for the 2022-23 season, according to Fanatics. Essentially, any jersey purchased at the NHL's e-commerce store will not have the jersey patch. What ads aren't allowed on jerseys? Not all ads are the same. The league sees a difference between what can run as a commercial, what gets space on the dasher boards, or what gets featured on players' jerseys. Hence, the NHL is taking a more, quote, conservative approach to the latter category, according to Wachtel. The NHL prohibits any jersey patches that advertise alcohol, spirits and beer, tobacco and marijuana products, or anything that's of a sexual nature. The league also won't allow consumer product licensing ads that might conflict with partners like Fanatics. One of the more complicated calls is bound on cryptocurrency, which the league allows on other forms of advertising. Wachtel has indicated that the volatility of the market doesn't jibe well with the multi-year commitment to a jersey ad, even as the LA Kings are playing in an arena name for a crypto business, for example. On signage as a league, we allow crypto, but we have to be careful just given the long-term nature of these deals, which are 3 to 5 years, Wachtel said. One category the NHL is allowing sports betting ads, but with some specific restrictions. And then they show a picture of the Capitals jersey with a Caesars Sportsbook patch on it. The NHL introduced advertising on its helmets in the 2020-21 season. For the first 2 years of that program, it did not allow ads from sports betting companies, but that rule was waived for helmets and jersey ads starting this season. Well, I mean, they lost all that revenue from the pandemic, so they got to try to make it up somehow, right? Given that sports wagering is legal in some states and not in others, ads for betting companies can appear only on home jerseys and helmets for teams located in states where it has been legalized. Makes sense. There we go. That explains why the Coyotes can only have it on their home jersey. Let's see. Was there any guidance from the league on making the ads look aesthetically like the jerseys that they wear? The NHL approves all jersey advertisements, not just in content, but in creative as well, according to Watchtel. It works with Adidas, the teams, and the brands on the design of the ads to make them look as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Watchtel cites the ads for Caesars Sportsbook with the Washington Capitals and Circa Sports with the Vegas Golden Knights as two of the better examples of that blending. I would say so. The Caesars Sportsbook one is red, fits right in with the Washington Capitals red jerseys. And the Circa Sports for the Vegas Knights is gold, fits right in with their jerseys too. Quote, we want to draw a balance between the importance and the heritage of the history of our sweaters, but with the newfound reality and opportunity that we have, Watchtel said. I think we've done that with the deals that we've announced. Will every team have jersey ads? As of mid-September, the Arizona Coyotes, Columbus Blue Jackets, Minnesota Wild, Montreal Canadiens, Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues, Golden Knights, and Capitals all had announced jersey advertising partnerships. But Watchtel said the majority of NHL teams will not have a patch sponsor this season. That was something the NBA experienced when it began selling uniform ads. Watchtel estimates that about half of the NHL's teams will have a jersey ad patch at some point this season. Watchtel said there's no rush to get all these ads done before the 2022-23 season. The NHL has advised teams that they can sell ad space during the season or even into the postseason, or in some cases, not at all, quote, until they get the value they're looking for in a multi-year partnership. As one NHL team source said, the market is flooded when it comes to advertising at the moment. Quote, we did not expect it would be all the teams out of the gate because we want to get the value of the asset to be protected, Watchtel said. And some people just want to see what the program looks like. We're actually happy that many of our clubs are taking a wait-and-see approach. The NHL does anticipate that the majority of its teams will have a jersey ad partner in the 23-24 season. Let's see. How much money can the jersey ads generate? All of the revenue generated by the jersey ad goes to hockey-related revenue, which is split evenly between the teams and the players per the collective bargaining agreement. How much revenue varies is by club. It depends on the market, the success of the team, and other factors. It can also depend on where the ad is placed on the jersey. We have some clubs that have gotten really good deals for all their sweaters. And then there are some where the marketplace has decided it will pay more on a per-game basis, but it didn't want to buy the ad space in totality. Watchtel explained, that's allowing for more demand for the second half because it's less expensive than the whole. Watchdog said the NHL is way ahead of where it expected to be in jersey ad sales, and it is seeing deals get done that are greater than what we anticipated. As far as how much the ads generate, a sponsor that buys the patch for both home and road jerseys could ante up over $10 million, according to the NHL. One team executive told ESPN that he expects his team to generate more revenue from this jersey ad than it does from its arena naming rights deal. They didn't name said executive, but it references the previous article we just read. So that's the wink, wink, nudge, nudge I'm getting here. So I think that's about the Arizona Coyotes. Finally, is this jersey ad program the start of a slippery slope to ad-covered NHL uniforms, like we see in European leagues or NASCAR? Hockey fans have all seen the worst-case scenarios for jersey ads. Those European League jerseys that have sponsor brands at every piece of equipment, from the helmet to the socks. When the jersey ads were first approved, Penguins president David Morehouse said the NHL would never go down that road. Quote, Gary Bettman is never going to let anything be put on our jerseys that's going to make them look like NASCAR or European League hockey, said Morehouse, who's now a senior advisor to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Gary's been very hesitant and very systematic in how he's approached this. Now that the ads have arrived, the NHL continues to say that the first jersey ads are not a slippery slope to total advertising saturation. It's a small patch. We know how important the front of the sweater is. There's no reason to change that, Watchdog said. Anyone that's getting hysterical about that is listening to the wrong hype, or they're on Twitter. We have no intention of doing anything like NASCAR or what they do in European sports. We still have tasteful ice. We have tasteful boards. We have done this very tastefully too. But they are kind of going down a slippery slope, because the first thing was helmet ads, and now they have jersey ads, and next thing you know, they might have ice skate ads. I don't know. We'll see. But very good, very informative article. They did say, okay, so Coyotes, Blue Jackets, Wild, Canadiens, Penguins, Blues, Golden Knights, and Capitals. So that's 8 teams. In here, they've got pictures of the Penguins, the Coyotes. So there's 2 of each of their, showing their ad patch, their jersey ad patch. There's 2. 3 would be the Caps. 4 is Vegas. 5 are the Canadiens. And 6 are the Wild. So of the 8, they showed 6 of them here. So they're missing who? St. Louis and somebody else. St. Louis and Columbus were the only ones not pictured. Okay. And lastly tonight, we got one more article here, and we'll get out of here. After 16 seasons, defenseman Keith Yandle retires as the NHL's all-time leader in consecutive games. From ESPN News Services tonight. Veteran defenseman Keith Yandle said Tuesday he is retiring after 16 seasons in the NHL. Yandle became the NHL's all-time Ironman last season, extending his consecutive game streak to 989 before the Philadelphia Flyers scratched him late in the year. The 36-year-old blue liner also played for the Coyotes, Rangers, and Panthers. Quote, the last year, it's one of those things I've been thinking about, Yandle said on the Spit and Chicklets podcast. When that's all you know in your life, to call quits on it, to call it an end, it's nerve-wracking. You're worried about what you're going to do, especially this time of year. You're ramping up for training camp. The last couple weeks, I've really been been at ease with it. Really enjoyed spending time with my family. I think for me, I'm really at ease with it and looking forward to the next chapter. A fourth-round draft pick by the then Phoenix Coyotes in 2005. Yandle saw his offensive production slip later in his career, but he still topped 50 points twice with the Coyotes and twice with the Panthers. He finished last season having played in 77 games for the Flyers, registering a goal and 19 points, but carried a minus 47 rating as well. On January 25th against the New York Islanders, he broke the record of 964 set by Doug Jarvis. He went on to play 25 more games until the streak ended April 2nd, when the Flyers made him a healthy scratch, preferring to take a look at the younger players since they were out of the postseason mix in the Eastern Conference. Quote, my only hope is that he just recognizes how amazing it is with what he's done, then Flyers interim coach Mike Yeo said, when Philadelphia made their lineup decision on April 2nd. For sure, for him, it's disappointing, no question, but not many can say that they've done something that nobody in the history of the NHL has ever done. And so in no way does this diminish what he's accomplished. It is remarkable and certainly something he could be extremely proud of. In 1,109 career games, Yandle had 103 goals and 619 points and helped to make Tuesday a memorable day in NHL retirements. Earlier in the day, former All-Stars Chara and PK Subban, mentioned earlier, also announced their retirements. Vegas Golden Knights forward Phil Kessel, who signed a one-year deal this offseason, has played in 982 consecutive games and is now the current active leader. I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to see what number that was. Oh, 965 games. NHL. Okay. Well, yeah, it looks like Phil Kessel might have already broken that, but okay. Anyways, we're getting out of here for the night. You've been listening to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Everyone have a great night and stay safe.